Hey guys, how are we doing? Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another video. So the markets are looking pretty good, continuing this grind up, but Bitcoin is still in that position of potential reversal, where the structure changed and the last most significant swing high. We are at the top of our basically range highs since we've like bottomed out. We've been in this like range in sort of area. Let's get a little box on that. Since we bottomed out, we were in this like ranging area here, within this box, and we have actually breached above this area. So that's positive. However, today is CPI in the USA, so look, my hands are in the air for that right now. PPI was yesterday. It came out weaker than expected, essentially. So basically, more likely that we're going to see rate cuts, because the likelihood of stagflation is less. Essentially, there's less inflation than people thought. So that, coupled by the jobs market, allows looser monetary policy, or leans towards the allowal of looser monetary policy. I think if CPI comes in weak today, I think the markets will rip, because I think they'll know that it's time. So we're waiting to see what happens there. Before I go any further, I honestly was shocked by what happened with Charlie Kirk yesterday, and I think it's playing on me today a bit. I think it's a sad day, and the reason I'm bringing it up is just because the footage is horrific. First off, he's just a young person with a view. I don't agree with all of his views, but I just think that it's just sad to see where we've got to in the world, that if someone opposes your opinion, you want to kill them. I think it's ridiculous. I oppose most Keir Starmer's opinion, but I would not want to see him get shot or anything like that. I think that's just awful. So just reflect on that, I think. Even I found myself being angry with some people's political views, and I don't need to be angry about it, and that's I wouldn't obviously ever do anything like that, of course, but the point is, you don't even need to really be angry about it. People should have their own opinions. You should be able to discuss them, and you should be passionate about what you believe in, but never to the point of inflicting violence on someone else, in my opinion. So I was going to say that because it has affected me, and that's why I wanted to bring it up. Not that there's not anything else bad going on in the world. Some people are commenting that sort of thing on my post when I said that. It's this isn't about anything else. It's about this specific point, and that's how it's made me feel, and that's why I've talked about it. So looking at other altcoins and their liquidity pools. So let's look at ETH. So as I said, we have CPI coming in. There is that liquidity still sitting below us there for Bitcoin. Now ETH. Sorry, I should have put it on silent mode before we started. ETH still has this liquidity sitting below us. We've been discussing this. It's down there now at about 4,100 is the most dense area of liquidity. We had these areas drawn in when we were in this level. At this level, there is liquidity building above us at 4.7. How far and how much of a drop would we need to help ETH, or get ETH to sweep this liquidity? 6%. That could happen in a day. It could happen quite quickly. I do think we are leaning towards an explosive upside move. Whether we leave this liquidity behind or not, again, I don't know. I think it's a quick flush for both Bitcoin and ETH should it come down to take that. But then I also think that ETH looks like it is building quite a strong sort of area here. Doesn't mean it can't do something like this, which is possible. But this base here and the amount of transacting in this area is pretty strong. So that looks pretty good as a support. There are some interesting looking altcoins, like Cardano is one of them. Let's have a look at Cardano right now. Let's just show you what I'm seeing here. Cardano is one of them because the amount of liquidity above is significantly different to that below. Cardano, around $1, there's a shitload of liquidity, which is a technical term, up at $1 here. And so I do think that the top 10, so Cardano, Doge is another one. XRP is obviously another one. So this is Cardano on the hourly. It looks pretty good. I haven't actually looked at the daily Cardano, but I have been focused on that hourly chart. I've been potentially considering taking another trade, but I'm in quite heavily exposed to the market right now. But if we even look here at $1 and 121, all the way up for Cardano looks pretty decent. And structurally, it looks pretty similar to Doge, where we've made this low, we've made a high, higher low, higher high, come down and then consolidate and looking to potentially make that higher high again, looking more likely with that amount of liquidity there. And if we look at Doge, The structure is very similar. This is Doge on the 4 hour. We'll just take to the daily to keep it consistent. This is Doge on the daily look. I'll show you the structure that I'm talking about. It is more on a larger time frame here for Doge, but the structure is still the same. So you make a low, make a higher high, make a higher low, higher high, higher low, consolidation, liquidity above us, and then potentially looking to move up to this next key area here where the liquidity resides at 29 cent. If we get that breakout, you're probably targeting the 45. So although Cardano's percentage move looks less, like as in less percentage, like Doge looks very similar and looks like it's waking up. We're starting to see these closes above recent daily swing highs. Oh, did we get that close yesterday? I think we did. Just about got that close, which is nice. I'm going to have to check it on some other, not just on Binance, but some other exchanges too, just to make sure. And then I'm going to look at XRP now as well. So I think XRP looks similar in a way, although I do think XRP is leading this cycle as we've been discussing. This consolidation has been different here for XRP. It's been more of like an ascending wedge pattern, and we continue to like come down into that pattern, but recently have broken this downtrend here that I've shown over there on X. So you can draw it in from wicks, or you can draw it in from candle closes, which is what I've basically been doing, which is like this. And I do think we've closed above these areas. Look, we've broken above the daily closes now, and on the 4 hour it's even more clear as what the one I've been showing. But look, I'll show you the liquidity is above. This liquidity looks to be relinquishing, or like people seem to be closing these shorts out, maybe in presumption of a move to the upside. But look, this is on the 4 hour. It's more clear if we do this, look on the 4 hour, and that you can see, or even I think this is the trend line that I had drawn in where it was like most resistance. You can see that we've started to break that downtrend specifically, and we've seen that liquidity above us. If we look on the hourly, let's have a look at XRP's hourly liquidity. Well, obviously this takes into consideration 100x and 50x leverage as well, whereas the daily is just 3 to 25x, I think. We have liquidity above us here, similar to Cardano in a way, at 340 here for XRP. Again, it's just like consolidating at previous like range highs. I'm going to get into some larger time frame or some more broader things now that basically confirm this sort of structure as well. If we look at the total three, so this is total market cap of crypto, excluding Bitcoin and ETH, what we can see here is, for me, looking like potential breakout imminent. Total 3 is looking pretty close to breaking out. We have had some decent daily closes. Look, this high of the daily close yesterday was above our recent daily closes. I don't know if it was above that level actually. Let's have a look. I don't think it quite was. Equal to, let's get zoomed really far in here and have a look at this. Boom, that was a close. Equal to our closes back in January 2025. And then obviously we consolidated after that. But look how close we are to price discovery here for total 2. For total 3, sorry, it's knocking at the door. It's knocking at the door for price discovery. So fingers crossed on this next phase of the market. Let's see what happens there. I've been suggesting that this could be like it's an ascending wedge pattern, but also could be, and similar to total 2, could be a structure like this. Give me 1 second. Could be like a cup and saucer sort of structure here, or cup and handle, whatever you want to call it. Look, this is the structure that we're seeing. I just think the breakout is imminent. I think that this is the sort of time when we're going to break out, especially as the macros lining up. We're seeing gold break out, equities hitting all-time highs. As I've written about in the newsletter for the last few weeks, all these macro indicators are pointing towards a potential breakout here. And I showed this same sort of structure, look, on total 2, where, again, after a completed Wyckoff accumulation, back test of that breakout and potential cup and handle pattern here, and we'll take all the drawings off. This is how close we are to potentially breaking out here. I think it just looks imminent. It looks like we're there. A lot of the different, this is the weekly time frame. Look at the state of it. Like if we close slightly higher than we are now, like literally, we've still got 3 days obviously left of the week. But if we close like 0.5% higher than where we are now. It'll be the highest ever weekly close for total 2. And I think that that's kind of reflected across different charts. Like I've talked about Doge, it looks to me like it's on the edge of a much larger breakout. If we get this breakout of this pennant here, showed you Cardano, I'm showing you XRP. I think XRP has been consolidating for a long time, potentially has started its next wave up. And if we look at Elliott wave theory, ETH I'm not so sure about, could have a little bit further to come, but I've also been looking at this chart as well, which is the ETH dominance and Bitcoin dominance chart, which does look like weakness to me. It's like a choppy upwards pattern with strong volume on the downside on these red candles. So I do think that the rotation is from ETH and Bitcoin into alts. That's my base case. I mean, I don't really care if they all go up together. I think the main thing that I'm trying to explain here is that I think crypto looks like it's going to go up because total 2 looks like it's going to break out and total 3 looks like it's going to break out. Whether Bitcoin continues to go higher and continue with market share is a different question, but I do think that we do see liquidity come into crypto here. Because the other thing that I was saying and why I don't know if Bitcoin's going to go up or not is that the total market cap of crypto also looks pretty strong and as if it's going to break out to the upside. So Bitcoin could go with the market. Whether it goes faster or less fast is a different discussion. Bitcoin dominance is something that we've been looking at specifically with this argument. I've been saying that this is like the moment of interest here for Bitcoin dominance. Is it going to break down out of this like ascending wedge here, or is it going to continue upwards? If it breaks down, it's probably better for altcoins. Well, it means that there's capital rotating. But as long as capital is flowing into the market, I don't really mind which starts to outperform which, at least in the short term. If we have significant rise in Bitcoin's price and a drop in dominance, it means that altcoins are going to be absolutely sending it. And I have been saying for a while, tokens like Doge look like they are going to absolutely send it. And when they do, it's like these sort of impulsive price moves where we just see a few weeks or a few days worth of massively green candles when we get to that stage. Similar with XRP, look, when we get this on the 3-day, similar to XRP, when we get these breakouts, they are pretty strong moves. Take most cryptos. ETH's not really the same in that sense, but most cryptos are like that in terms of their movement. We were looking at Cardano. Cardano is another one that does stuff like that. Look, this period here was when we saw significant upside. And then if we go back to last cycle, it's boom, like this period here. And I was suggesting that we're in a situation like this for Cardano. Again, I don't hold any Cardano right now. I'm just like comparing structures where we've made a low, we made a high, we consolidated, and then we're like trying to break through the recent high, which coincides with like a recent, with a not a recent, but a like one of the big swing highs before continuation down. So that's this area, swing high before continuation down. We've made that recent high so we hit the low, made a high, made a higher low, which we did here, made a higher low, and then you'd like consolidating at that high. So this is where we are, and then we're consolidating. We're not quite at that high yet, but we're close. And if we start to get these breakouts, $1.40, and then potentially higher for Cardano. So these are the things that I'm watching in the space right now. I don't have too much more to report for you guys. I've been writing about Doge for weeks. We're in the green for Doge now. There's no excuse for anyone to say that I haven't been talking about it. I've talked about it multiple times on the newsletter and my YouTube channel. And look, we're not in a breakout territory here yet. We've seen the first signs of it. And as I said, we're at decision time for the market. Could reject here and consolidate for a little bit longer, as could the rest of the market. But one catalyst here, and it's green season, in my opinion, for crypto generally. So with all that being said, guys, I'm going to leave this video here. If you did enjoy the video, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share it with a friend. If you want to read my weekly newsletter, it's free. It's in the description section of this video. If you want to trade or sign up to any new exchanges, you could try WeX and MEXC, both in the description section of this video. The links are below. They're both non-KYC, and I always like to have as many exchanges as I can, like accessible. Yeah, stay safe out there. Tell your family you love them. Life can be short, and just take each day as it comes and enjoy the parts of the day that you can enjoy. And there's always stuff to look for in each day that's positive. And remember to be positive in this world that at the minute seems a little bit dark. Not just with the assassination yesterday, but with where the world and how great powers are arguing and fighting and this sort of stuff. Easy to get bogged down. But yeah, everyone enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Peace up, A-Town Down, as Crypto Insight UK would say.